As I'm sitting around talking with people and they know I'm a business strategist and business consultant, management consultant, inevitably the question comes up, Tony, what should I be doing in my business right now? First thing I would suggest is you need to do positive leadership modeling. Positive leadership modeling. And so some of you who are familiar with my work know that I have a model called the Galaxy of You. And the way the Galaxy of You works is that if you were to think about the world revolving around you, you're like at the center of the galaxy. And so you are constantly expanding, just like the galaxy of the Milky Way that we live in is always expanding. And you're in the position of the sun. And so you have all these things revolving around you. And as your galaxy is expanding, it's expanding at the same rate that you are expanding. So as you grow, your galaxy grows. As you grow, your business grows. And as you get better, everything in your galaxy gets better. Everything in your surrounding universe gets better based on how you're getting better. So with that thought in mind, you think about positive leadership modeling means you are doing the things in your business that your employees are watching you do, your customers are watching you do. And so what are some of those things? Well, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can write in your journal and you can write down and think and ponder about as far as being a more positive leadership role model. Okay, the first question is, why do you get out of bed every day, and why do you do what you do? Why do you get out of bed every day, and why do you do what you do? So it's kind of difficult to be a positive leadership role model if the only reason you're going to your business every day is just for the money that you get. You don't really enjoy it for any other reason. And so you got to ask yourself, am I being a positive leadership role model because I love what I do? I'm passionate about what I do. I go to my business every single day excited about the prospects about what might happen today or what opportunities we might have or how we're going to grow the business or how we're going to make the business better. So one aspect of positive leadership modeling is, why do you get out of bed every day and why do you do what you do? Number 2 question is, when you fall down or make a mistake, how do you pick yourself back up? Now, positive leadership modeling is about being a role model. So if you want your employees to recover from failure in a fast, rapid way, how do you do it? Because that's a teaching opportunity, see? When you make a mistake, it is imperative that you admit it and that you show them how much resiliency you have, because that gives them more confidence in you as the business owner and as a leader. They think, wow, look at him. He's not giving up. Or look at her. Wow, she's got strong bounce back power, right? And ego and pride are the 2 reasons that we don't admit that we're wrong, right? So we got to shed that if we're going to be a positive leadership model in our businesses. And then number 3 is, how will you stay focused? It's all about positive leadership modeling. So you would like your employees and your customers and people around you, you'd like for them to stay focused, right? Well, how do you do it? How do you model it for other people? And remember, whatever you focus on gets all of you. And whatever you give energy to is going to expand and get bigger. And whatever you take energy away from is going to shrink and get smaller. So you got to watch yourself, or you'll focus on the wrong things. You'll focus on the negative things instead of the positive things. You'll get distracted. You'll get taken away from the key issues and chase rabbits. And so you as the leader have to figure out how you're going to stay focused so you can be a positive leadership model for those other people in your company that are following you. So those are 3 questions that you can journal about and think about and use for improvement. As part of what should I be doing in my business right now, you need to be doing a lot of positive leadership modeling. Number 2, I would say, you should be doing aggressive training and development of your people. I've never seen a business that had unhappy employees and happy customers. Because attitudes are just like the cold or the flu. People catch attitudes. People catch demeanors. People catch emotions just like they catch the cold or the flu. And what I found is that most employees are happy when they're learning and when they're getting better and when they're getting a chance to apply what they've learned and they have a chance to apply their talents to projects. Your success is going to be determined largely by the people that are around you in your business. Those closest to you are going to determine the magnitude of your success. That's why you as a leader have to take responsibility for training and equipping a core group. And there better be someone who can do it. And it probably going to be you. You better be a person who is so good and you're ahead of everybody else by a little bit so you can pass on what you know. You know, the companies that are doomed for failure are the ones that everybody's about on the same level. Right? Nobody's learning from anybody any better or any more skillful than they are. Everybody's about at the same level, so that usually means that group stays at the same level and goes backwards because there is no such thing as status quo. Everything's either going up or going down. And usually when you have a company where everybody's about the same, that's going to go back and recede, rather than having somebody like you as a business owner who has some skills and you're always getting better and you're always a year or two ahead of your people so that you can go back and bring them up to your level and you stay ahead all the time. Now, you probably already know that no business can be more successful than its leader. So the leader is going to be the cap on the business's success. So wherever you as the business owner, business leader are, that's where the cap on the business is. So if you're not constantly raising your own level, you won't be able to raise the level of the business and you won't be able to raise the level of your people. But you have to constantly be empowering them to exercise their influence for the benefit and the growth of your company. So number 2, what should I be doing in my business right now? You need to be aggressively training and developing your people. Number 3 is you need to be establishing strategic goals for the next 5 years. Now, that's going to be a little bit harder than it sounds because things move at an extremely fast pace and an extremely fast rate. I mean, we live in an ever-changing world where technology is advancing, business principles are advancing, globalization and digitization. We're rapidly expanding into global businesses every single day. And so those are just some things that are going at an exponentially fast rate right now, which makes it more difficult to plan. We used to say, you need a strategic plan for the next 20 years, the next 10 years, the next 5 years, and the next 1 year. And really what we're saying now is you need to plan for the next 18 months, the next 36 months, and the next 5 years, because the way things are moving at a fast pace, in 5 years, everything will be different. So you have to work really, really hard to keep up with the fast-paced trends that are going on. We used to do an exercise with businesses, and we still do from time to time as part of strategy, called a SWOT. Capital S, capital W, capital O, capital T. And that stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so you look at 2 of them, which are internal, strengths and weaknesses, internal, and then 2 externals, opportunities that exist in the marketplace and threats to your business that exist in the marketplace. And now it's almost like I want to shorten that down to just SWT and do strengths, weaknesses, and trends. Because the way everything is moving at such a fast pace, you want to catch a trend. And you want to say, is this a fad or is this a real trend? And so when you're formulating your objectives and goals for the next 5 years, you need to spot those trends that your business can capitalize on and ride over the next little bit. If it's a fad, then you're going to jump on something that's going to come and it's going to go very, very quickly. But if it's an actual trend, it's going to be trending up, and those are like surfing on the ocean. You can get on your surfboard and you can ride those, right? I remember several years ago, a good friend of mine who's a futurist, all he really does is he predicts the future and talks about the way that business is going. And I think this conference was in 1988 that I attended. And he had a presentation, and it was a guy on a surfboard. And he was saying that one day we'll all be on this stream of information, and it'll be called surfing. And we'll all have access to all this great data and information, and it'll be a free flow of information that we'll be surfing on. Now, and you and I both know, that's been 25, 28 years ago, and that has not been a fad, right? That's been a trend, and it's been a growing trend so now we do almost everything by the internet. We shop on the internet, we get our entertainment on the internet, we communicate on the internet. So that's a trend. It's just exponentially growing every year and still growing, as opposed to a fad where, 6 months later and we're on to something else. So you need to figure out those strengths of your business, the weaknesses of your business, and then the trends that are out there that you can jump on and that you can ride. Outside of that, you can look at your strategic goals over the next 5 years through 4, what I call lenses. Look through 4 strategic lenses in your business. Number 1 lens is the financial part of your business, which, your strategy, your implementation, the execution to your top line and to your bottom line. Lens number 2 is the customer lens. So how can you create value and differentiation when you acquire, retain, or service your customer? Lens number 3 you want to look through as far as establishing strategic goals for the next 5 years is your internal processes. When you get a customer, what sort of processes are in your company that product has to go through to be made or sold or bought or delivered? The internal processes of your company have to be constantly maintained and serviced. So what are your goals for that? And then the 4th lens you want to look through is the people part of your business. How are you going to recruit? How are you going to train? And how are you going to develop the people in your business to always be going to a higher level? So those 4 strategic lenses and those 3 important factors, your strengths, your weaknesses, the trends, and then the financial, the customer, the internal processes, and the people parts of your business. And you don't want any more than 3 or 4 or 5, no more than 5 goals in each one of those buckets. So that'll help you some. So tip number 3, what should I be doing in my business right now? You need to be establishing strategic goals for the next 5 years and have those really solidified for the next 18 months.
Thank you for listening to Better Than Before with Tony Richards, a business leaders podcast powered by Clear Vision Development Group. For more resources from Tony, visit clearvisiondevelopment.com. Join us next time for another episode of Better Than Before with Tony Richards.